Also, preparations are on in New York City for the 2024 vice presidential debate. In about 24 hours from now, the fairly unknown men, Vance and Walz, will face each other. Here's what we know about the debate so far. The duration will be the same as we have seen in the election season this year. That's 90 minutes. CBS News will be airing on its broadcast network live at 9 p.m. local time. A few rules are different than the presidential debates we have seen. The two sides have agreed that the microphones will stay hot throughout. CBS's anchors Nora O'Donnell and Margaret Brennan will moderate the debate. But the media network has clarified before the debate that it will not be up to the moderators but the candidates to fact-check each other in real time. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for a closing statement. Now, Vance won a virtual coin toss and hence will speak last. And just like the presidential debates, there will be no live audience in this one as well. Sources close to Associated Press say that Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is helping Walz for the debate preps. The Walz campaign seems to know their rival will be a formidable opponent. And speaking of Vance, reports say that Minnesota GOP representative Tom Emmer is helping him prepare. And to get us some perspective, we are being joined by Democrat strategist Christopher Hale. He has worked for incumbent President Joe Biden and also former U.S. President Barack Obama in the White House and on their campaign trails. Mr. Hale, thank you so much for joining us here on WION. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate being on.
So judging on the past debates that we have seen, how consequential would you say a VP debate is to the race to the White House?
Much more consequential than previous vice presidential debates, and I'll tell you why. We have no evidence. We don't know that this is not the last time that these two campaigns will face each other. Between now and Election Day, November 5th, there is no second debate scheduled between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. So this might be it. So I actually think this will be the highest rated BP debate, probably since as Sarah Palin and Joseph Biden back in 2008. But all the evidence says that this is actually a quite consequential vice presidential debate, and perhaps more consequential than any one we've seen in modern history.
All right, it's interesting you say that. We're also consistently saying that Kamala Harris is a few percentage points ahead of Donald Trump nationally and also in a few battleground states. But it's also true that back in 2016, Donald Trump did manage to beat Hillary Clinton, even though he got few number of votes. Do you think that's a possibility this year?
Yes. I think that the way the Electoral College works, the bias right now favors Donald Trump. Look, I mean, Joe Biden won in 2020 by almost 5 points in the popular vote, and barely won the Electoral College by a handful, 40,000 votes in 3 states. So absolutely, the idea that I think it's very problematic for folks to look at the national popular vote and think they understand what's going on in the election. Really, obviously, this is going to come down to 7 battleground states. If we're going to be very specific, 3 or 4 at the most. So I would not look at the national polls as an indicator of how this election is going. If there's one state that is going to decide this election, it is the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I imagine the last 2 weeks of the campaign, Pennsylvania will become the center of the world.
Absolutely, and Donald Trump is set to return to Pennsylvania, specifically Butler, the assassination bit site. Christopher Hale, always good to speak to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.